Well, we're waiting.
I don't like your attitude.
You can't handle the truth!
All rise and like, subscribe, and bang the gavel, baby.
All right, it's good to see everybody for another We Got a Case. We Got a Case brings you courtroom drama from across all of America. And today is Friday, which means one thing and one thing only: harassment court. Some of these are continued over from last week. Some of these may be new, but we're not going to mess around. We're going to go ahead, get into it. By the way, Creed will not be here for We Got a Case, but he will be here for We Got a Chase. So I'm going to try not to talk too much. I'm going to say hello to everybody that I'm way behind on. And our guy, you're in the hospital? Oh, that's not good news. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to pop this volume up. Harassment court, everybody.
People, assuming some of those people are the petitioner, imagining at least one of those people is Mr. Sorry, I forgot.
That's okay. Your Honor, Brad Anderson on behalf of the petitioners.
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Driver are here, and the other folks are brother and sister.
Okay. So you can have a seat. A couple
These two are brother and
housekeeping
sister?
matters. The parties have submitted a substantial number of documents over yesterday afternoon, and I believe Mr. Anderson has brought some more documents in for the court. I think it's probably fitting at this point that we discuss the nature of this proceeding. So this is proceeding under RCW 1014-010, or I'm sorry, 1014, and that is harassment. That's what the petition alleges. And RCW 1014-010 sets forth the legislative intent of this particular statute. I'll read it. This chapter is intended to provide victims with a speedy and inexpensive method of obtaining civil and
They'll see. Thank you very much, by the way. We will bang it as hard as we can today.
So in keeping with
our guy, hang in there, buddy.
Legislative intent of this statute, I'm going to set forth some limitations in terms of pages and exhibits. We're going to set a future hearing because I've not looked at any of these exhibits that have been submitted late afternoon yesterday. The limitations will be as follows, and I've printed this out and I'll provide this to both parties. Each party shall select no more than 30 pages for the court's consideration. This includes any documents. No more than one page of text may be included on one page. Any text must be legible or the court will not consider it.
Please,
one loose
like
photo
this.
equals one page, up to 4 photos.
Now, this judge also, we all
to
know, does not mind reading very dirty text messages, so should be interesting.
8.5 by 11-inch letter size document. Documents must be submitted to the court and provided to the other party no fewer than 4 business days before the next scheduled hearing. A party seeking to present video or audio evidence must be able to play it in court in such a way that the other party and the court can see and or hear the evidence, and such that it will appear on the video record of the court. In the case of a remote hearing, the party will need to play the video or audio through screen sharing using Zoom. That's the ideal way to get it onto the record. It's the easiest. A copy of any audio or video evidence to be played must be written to, I think the parties have already submitted this, written to a CD or DVD and submitted to the court, and provided the other party no fewer than
no VHS will be allowed in court today.
Hearing. The purpose for the CD is there's some issue with the record.
Liam.
The parties are also advised to review Chapter 1014 RCW harassment. Any evidence submitted must be relevant to the question of whether the respondent has committed acts of harassment as defined in Chapter 1014 RCW. Pursuant to RCW 1014-150, if the action involves title or possession of real property, the court must transfer the action to Superior Court. The court has no discretion in this matter. If the parties believe the title to or possession of real property may become an issue, The parties must advise the court prior to the
Land
next
dispute,
hearing.
guys.
The court can obtain a cause number and hearing date from the Superior Court.
What is this?
And I'm not saying you have to be remote. You can appear in person if you want. That's just fine. But I'm not placing any limitations on testimony or witnesses. I don't think that would be in keeping with the statutory intent. of
Didn't
this
we all?
particular, action.
Didn't we all?
I guess any input or comments or I guess objections that we
Texas
should
Mama,
address
good
from
to see you.
counsel.
I have a question, Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Anderson, go ahead. I think you were.
Just for clarification, the exhibits, you're saying that the total number of exhibits, so if we have
You
20
video wouldn't start?
exhibits,
Oh no.
total number of pages have to be limited to 30 pages?
Right, however you want to fit them on those pages, yeah, so 30
Shane,
pages
good
of
to see ya.
declarations, 30 pages of photographs, like I said, they can be 4 to a page as long as it's legible. 30 pages of, I mean, however you want to work it is fine.
The authentication in anti-harassment orders, there's, I think both sides are submitting some things from reporting agencies. I don't know what the rules of evidence are, if they're more loose in anti-harassment orders, but I was planning to stipulate to his government reports, and I was hoping he would do the same.
Lazy
You know, 'cause
bastards.
I think both sides have submitted like letters from the county or from law enforcement. What's your honor's advice or position on that?
So ER 1101 provides.
I hope these
for
two aren't
a
brother and
hearing on a
sister.
protection order, the rules
I already
of
feel
evidence need
weird
not apply.
enough
I don't
looking at the
intend
two
on
of them.
applying the rules of evidence, except with the exception probably of relevance. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to present irrelevant evidence.
Sure. The
Mr.
third one is
E.
you
Rob,
said
good to
that
see
we
you.
should exchange our materials 4 business days before the whatever hearing you set.
Yeah.
You guys please like this
And if you've
video.
already
If you're ever on
done that,
Facebook,
I'm assuming whatever
Share
you're
this out.
presenting probably is in these documents you've already submitted.
Yeah.
So if you've already exchanged that, don't feel like.
yes, there will be a members only
And Your Honor, I
tonight.
think Mr.
Make sure
Davis
you're
and
there
I
at
would
6
apologize.
p.m. 5 hours
Yeah,
from now.
we were talking all the way up till Wednesday,
Mhm.
and then it turned out we couldn't resolve it, and we always feel bad when we inundate you with so much.
Wow,
but,
they worked on this
that
case
was
all the way to
part of it.
Wednesday and
That
couldn't
case on
figure it out.
Monday,
Really?
And so I'm sorry to the court, it makes sense. Will the anti-harassment order remain in effect until the next hearing date?
There is a temporary order. My intent would just be to keep that temporary.
You will
order
be
in
Miss
place
Robbie
for the
Rob.
Time being.
And when does your honor want to continue the hearing to?
We can find a date that's convenient for the parties.
That's $1, right?
Hallelujah. That temporary order is out there. Is that fair to say?
That's correct, Your Honor. It's not a situation where the court denies the ex parte order, but still allows the hearing
Larry?
and the potential to do that. This is an actual order that has real consequences to it.
So we could do basically any Thursday or Friday. We'll find space for it.
Are we pushing this one out again?
Your Honor,
No.
I don't know about Mr. Davis. I would anticipate, I mean, this is more than your typical anti-harassment order. Mr. Davis and I have talked about whether he wants to move his case to Superior Court. I understand he doesn't want to because we talked
Attorney
about,
Bubbles.
you know, the underlying dispute. But assuming that's the case, I would anticipate that we should take no more than, I'd say 3 hours, I think, to put on my case, for him to put on his case. Is that too much time for your honor?
Well, 3 hours is usually how long the docket lasts in its entirety. So I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to present or not to present. I will tell you at some point I'm going to limit the presentation of
And maybe
I
that's.
saw that.
try to
40th
over
anniversary.
exaggerate. And I had my paralegals on Zoom and we were prepared to play the videos. And we were told that you sometimes review them before and sometimes afterwards, but we'll be prepared to play them in court next time. And we were going to do it through Zoom. So.
I figured that's ideal. Yeah. And if I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this too restrictive.
Life goes on.
Hearing, I don't know.
The
The court has 3 hours to devote to it, plus any additional time of reviewing.
Lynn, good to
exhibits.
see you. Enjoy the sun.
So We can set it, if we set it on a Thursday morning, those typically are less busy, so you'd have more time on a Thursday morning.
Is it?
But we could do either next Thursday or the following Thursday.
Why are we changing these case times again?
Yeah.
Or is he
next
talking?
Thursday
Hopefully, we're
works
talking
for us.
about a different
That was Mr.
case.
Davis for you next Thursday.
Thursday morning, you said, Your Honor, is that right?
Yes, sir, at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, that works, Your Honor.
Okay, and then does that give us 4 business days? I may have to modify that order.
I bet Mr. Davis and I are pretty close to exchanging, I think.
Okay.
I don't expect to offer anything more. I
Just
got
let
this
him in.
brief on the computer this morning.
Just let him in. He just wants to
August
come in and hang out,
30
TK.
30
And-
pages.
In terms of the 30 pages, you can either resubmit 30 pages or just point me to the 30 pages you want me to
Absolutely,
look at. That's
Angela.
stuff that's already,
I'll wake up ready to
We'll
go.
resubmit, I guess.
whatever's easiest
Ready to go.
for the parties.
That is 4 business days. The 20th is 4
Yeah, it is 4 business days. So maybe I'll modify that.
Yeah, they both look really like
How
barrels
about,
of
like,
fun.
the Tuesday, is that realistic?
For me, it is, yeah.
Mr. Davis, is that okay?
That's fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, I'll change this then. Sorry about
Anthony, what's up?
That's assuming.
Can we get
Mr.
this
Davis,
figured
you and I
out?
worked before. I'm assuming you don't have a lot more to add than what you've already given.
No, I think I have a couple exhibits we sent you this morning, but with the court's page limit situation, I intended to potentially write a brief if this ended up getting sent over and or declarations, but I'd be maxed out by then, so.
Easy does it, Bubbles.
We didn't have any declarations, so.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I'll do if I've got a 30.
Sure. And I will tell you, if you wanted to write, I'm not encouraging or whatever you want to do. Mr. Davis brings it up. If you wanted to write some kind of brief, like argument, you're welcome to do that. I don't think that would count as exhibits in terms of the page.
And I've
limits.
submitted mine already.
Oh, you have? Okay, I'm sorry. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Unfortunately, it references the exhibit numbers, and so I'm a little bit concerned about changing them. Your Honor, I think the way in which this case is being presented to you, because some of these are like text messages and stuff.
All right, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to jump.
So we,
I'm going to get that figured out and see, get to our first case, because it seems like we're doing a continuance till next week on this thing. And I'm going to sit here and listen to these idiots try and hash us out. Yep, that's what they did. They moved it to another time. So I'm going to get us ahead to where we need to be so we can see. Where we are while I'm doing that. Please take a second. Think about Sharon and Karen and all those people. All right, we're going to jump back over here and see what's going on now.
Stand
Very-
by.
Very good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Did that say D. Angus? 95 of you here. Please like this video. We're in harassment court today. They're harassing me already.
They're not connecting their audio. There we go. Person logged in is Marnie. It looks like your audio is just connected. Could you tell me your name, please?
It's Mandy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We can't see Mandy.
Massey.
Put Mandy on the
Yes.
screen.
So it looks like we have everybody here for your hearing, Ms. Massey. We have,
The wood booger.
Mr. Jackson's connected, and Mr. Lee, who represents Mr.
Good to see you, bud.
Jackson, is also connected. Let me get that
Hello,
notes
hello.
here.
Upstate New York. Creed's in New York right now.
You need my
Hang on.
video on?
If you'd like to turn it on, I don't
Bang in
I don't
Australia.
really have any concern that you're not who you claim to be, but you're welcome to turn it
Okay.
on.
That
Okay,
was
and,
Angela. She had a very nice
What
phone.
I'll do first, I'll swear the parties in. I don't know if Mr. Jackson's going to testify, but just in case it comes up, I'll swear you in as well, Mr. Jackson.
51. Ooh, that's terrible.
So if you could raise your right hands, please. And do you swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And Miss,
I do.
all right, very good, thank you. Okay, and Ms. Massey, you're the petitioner, so it means that you get to go first. Also means you have the burden
Okay,
of proof.
am
So
I
you
the-
have to prove your case.
Am I the
by
only one
preponderance
that
of the evidence?
look this right here?
I did
This is
look over your
fake.
petition.
This isn't really.
Took some notes from it.
Okay.
I think what I'd like to
It's
do is
like
I'll have a couple questions
on
for
a-
you,
on
and
a
then you can just follow
door.
up and just tell me whatever you want to tell me after
Well-
that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so it looks like
See, this is a door
you
handle.
know
This is a
the
door.
respondent through work. Is that right?
Yes, I'm a bartender and he was a customer.
Oh,
Do you remember when you first actually exchanged numbers?
I do. It was on March 22nd.
Okay, and then you talked in your petition about, it looks like you had some, maybe some argument, or he said something unkind to you, and you said in response something like, "I'm gonna kick your ass next time I see you." I'm paraphrasing. Do you remember when that exchange of email or text messages was approximately?
I do. I have them all right here. This was all on Wednesday, the 23rd. It started at 7:44 a.m.
Can we ask the 23rd of March, just for clarification?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
what kind of douche harasses a bartender?
Is it, how many text messages did you exchange on that day?
I only sent this gentleman one text message. Actually,
Okay.
there were two. I let him down, told him I wasn't interested, told him good luck with his adventure, and I'm sending him love. I'm holding out for love, but I thought he was an interesting fellow. And he came back that he appreciated my honesty. There's lots of fish in the sea. He loved dogs and a touch of sarcasm, and can't blame a guy for taking a swing after 16 years of marriage. I've got no shame in my game. And then he comes back and he
Married for
insults
16
me
years?
with
Was that, oh, go ahead. I think you're gonna answer the question. Go ahead.
that he is a millionaire. He can pull in girls half my age. He wasn't drawn in by my personality. I'm not as hot as I think I am. So
Whining and
this
dying.
just, it went on like all day. It started Wednesday morning.
It's a paddle.
I let him down at 9:15 a.m. and then he just kept texting.
When you say he kept texting, was it like how many texts did he send after
So he
that?
sent the wrong one. Let's see, my phone isn't saying the time, but
I believe it. Bless
2
you.
text messages
Two.
that were very long.
Do you know about what time of day those were?
Well, I sent him one at 9:15 a.m., letting him down with, and then he came back. It must have been about 10 o'clock. It's not showing on my phone the times. It just shows
Exactly.
when I responded to him.
Did you said too long? Maybe just tell me how many total texts did he send to you?
There were 2, and they were paragraphs.
Okay. Was this all on the same day on the 23rd?
Yes.
How dare you refuse my
Was it all
love?
the morning of the 23rd?
It went into the afternoon. I remember because I had to take my dog to the vet. And then there were 4 messages. I'm sorry, sir. There were 4 messages.
I agree, Hercules.
Altogether from him.
Millionaire Mikey.
And it sounds like at least the first 1 or 2 were fine, right?
Well,
Yes, it
there were
is.
5, there's 5 text messages altogether from him to me.
Would you like to just, I mean, I don't know how long they are because I don't see them in front of me, but would you like to just read them?
Sure.
Does he tell her how big his
So he
junk
says,
is?
blah, blah, blah. Still want to do dirty things to you. You can only hold out for so long. Bet me. ... Just saying. ... I know my way around a woman and can make you beg me to stop. Because you can't handle more. I don't think I'm God's gift to women, but not my first rodeo, beautiful. Talented where it counts.
Oh,
I responded, "You're an interesting fellow, but I'm holding out for love. Good luck with your adventure." He responds, "I at least appreciate your honesty. There's lots of fish in the sea. I just liked your love of dogs and the touch of sarcasm. Bother you further, can't blame a guy for taking a swing after 16 years of marriage. I've got no shame in my game."
is he
The
married
next
still?
text message. "I am lovable, by the way. Last message, I'll delete your number now. You're not quite as hot as you think, you're being honest. I was drawn in by personality mostly. I can easily still pull girls half your age. I'm a multimillionaire after all." I responded, this was hours later, with ha ha, oh little man, true colors come out now. If I see you, I'll kick your fucking ass, so don't come in no more.
Oh, so
His
she threatened him.
response, "That wasn't very nice. I didn't think I was being all that mean. You were honest, so I was too, that's it. You're obviously full of yourself. I am not. I hardly think you'll be kicking anybody's ass. Everybody else that works there likes me just fine. I'm not looking for a fight. Let's not go there, well, if you like your job anyway." And that's the end of the text messages.
You'll
And
be
then I blocked
begging
him
me to quit,
after
honey.
that.
And then your petition, you talked about that he had I had a hard time reading it, honestly. Something
I'm
about him
sorry.
having your mailing address and
So
let me just ask you generically, what happened after the text messages?
he contacted my boss,
He's got to ask Scott. He's a millionaire.
claimed that I physically threatened him, and he was seeking legal matters with his attorney.
Okay.
And then that evening on March 25th, he went into the bar heavily intoxicated.
Heavily.
They didn't want to serve him because he was too drunk. He had asked if he could use the restroom, which they did let him. And then he came back that they had threatened him and that he was physically thrown out.
And were you present for this?
I was not.
Did he come there and like leave a message for you or ask that someone say that you had say that he'd been there or something like that?
It was a threat.
I'm not sure what he was doing there. They asked him to leave, and then he was 86 after this.
Okay.
86.
And he had been there by his messages that you read. It sounded like he had been there before, like that wasn't his first time there. Is that right?
No.
Okay. And then you said something about in your petition about and forgive me if I just misread this, but something about your mailing address. Well, just tell me what happened after that with him.
So my boss had asked me to block him on my phone, so I did. And then he reached out. He wanted to send me, it was a do not contact order. So he wanted my mailing address and where I live and
Mary Lou Wooten
all the
Fitzgerald.
information about me from my boss, and she refused to give it to him.
Okay. So he called your boss and said he's looking for your address and other information so he can get you some kind of communication.
Yes, he was actually emailing her over and over again. And
how petty is this guy that he is busy worrying about trying to get her served? I mean, come on, she didn't want you. Move on to the next girl.
She was actually going through a family crisis. Her grandmother was dying, so she didn't respond as quickly as he wanted. So he wanted me fired after this incident.
See, this was a non-work incident.
Fired, is that right?
No.
And then you said that something about sending pictures of your boss's house with LOL written beside it.
Yes, so he threatened that he could discover the information elsewhere. And then he sent her pictures of her house that he knows where she is with LOL written.
So he sent that to your boss, but that wasn't sent to you.
No, it was to
Did
my,
did your boss forward that to you or share it with you?
she did, yeah, she shared the information with me just to let me know what was going on.
So then he started kind
I
of
think
like,
you said something about
that's
him,
weird.
and maybe you
So
already
weird.
discussed this, but something about him leaving some bad reviews on Yelp or Google.
He did,
Son
he
of
went
a
and left
bitch.
reviews on both of them and they have been taken down.
Okay.
Because,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, I'm sorry, my boss sent this to me that he violated the orders on the, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
she has a text here.
Why
for
would
me.
you? It's because somebody won't give you somebody's personal information. You go send them a
So-
picture of their house, letting them
Yeah,
know, like, hey, I know where
that
you
he
live.
violated their online policies and the review was removed.
And of course, he left bad reviews.
Did in those messages or in the message, I'm sorry, reviews, did he mention you by name? Or
He
was
is the
just
other
talking
side.
about
He's
you,
this.
Oh, no, it
douche
was
we're
my
talking
name.
about.
My name, my boss's name, bartender Mandy, yes.
That's what I'm thinking too, JG.
do you ordinarily get those reviews, or do you only see those if like your boss shares them? I assume your boss gets them, right? But
He keeps
Kelly.
an eye on them.
There's no shame in his game, Kelly. He's a multi-millionaire, and you'll be begging for him to stop.
anything else you wanted to add? I think those are all my questions. You're welcome to add anything.
Yes, so I did with this, since he had filed a no contact for me, I had gone to the police station. I did the same thing. They had informed me that I should file a no contact order and the harassment. So that was with Officer Rydell. And then my boss gets an email that Mr. Jackson thinks I'm having a relationship with this officer who I have never met.
This guy. Oh my God.
Oh, and he also emailed me. After I had blocked him, he emailed me. I have the email here.
When did he email you?
It was 3:30. And I have the email if you'd like me to read it to you.
Like March 30th.
Yes.
Yeah, is it?
Can't let it go,
ahead,
can
read
he?
it.
So the top is, "You're not so smart, employer." And he says, "Mandy, your employer, Pacific House, who thinks they are so smart and have done nothing but slander me and refuse to provide any information for a pending restraining order, perfectly fine. They don't have to, and probably the right move. That is deserving of you after making physical threats against me after exchanging phone numbers are actually so dumb." And they went ahead and provided me with your email address, which means I now know everything there is to know about Mandy J. Massey. If I was you, I'd probably sue them. Very, very dumb of them. Again, luckily for you, I intend you zero harm and have made zero threats of violence or have any intent of violence towards you or anybody else. I both have spoken with Vancouver police who are not in he least worried about this when it comes to me, and also started the process of filing a report against you with the Clark County Sheriff's Office for the threat of physical violence against me. What if, however, I wasn't a peaceful person, ? I know everything about Mandy J. Massey, including where you live, because your employer,
That's a good
you
question,
might want to
TK.
consult an attorney. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional right now.
Oh, she's crying. That always helps. That always helps. Hold on. I'm getting emotional. This guy's an asshole. This guy's a real jerk. I'm telling you. Instead of offering
Can I
each
just say
other
one more
money
thing,
in the chat,
John?
just send it to me and
Go ahead.
I'll tell you.
As a single woman, this has just been traumatic for me. I have post-traumatic stress. I have anxiety from past relationships. His attorney brought up past relationships of mine that I haven't thought about in over 20 years, and it's very upsetting because it was a physical abuse relationship, and that man stalked me for over 3 years.
Yes, we know you are our guy.
And I have lost wages because of this. It's just been horrible ordeal.
Do you know if your employer has told the respondent not to come back to that establishment?
Yes.
He just left. Where's he at? Get back here.
I believe it was in this incident report, he was asked not to come back again.
All the single ladies. All the single ladies.
Anything else you wanted to add, Ms. Massey?
No, I think that's it.
Oh, don't cry, baby.
All right. And then Mr. Lee, I
wonder what
did
she looks like.
review
God, I
your,
want to see her now.
your brief, but anything you'd like to add in terms of argument, or would you be having your client testify?
Your Honor, we're not going to have Mr. Jackson testify. I appreciate the court receiving
he's the
and
attorney?
reviewing that brief. I know that the timeline was a little compressed. I just got retained a couple of days ago and only got that to you yesterday.
The guy's
I did want to make
psychopath.
a couple of, I just wanted to go to argument if I could, Your Honor.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Just a couple of points that we wanted to make. The first I'd start with generally is there's clear notice on both sides that
Hang in
neither
there,
side
Virginia.
wants to have contact or communication with the other anymore. And I think that at the end of the hearing today, there should not be an order entered, but both of them are on clear notice not to have contact with the other side. And if there is, then that may in the future be a basis for an order one way or the other, but there just isn't a record before the court that an order could be entered for at this point. This is a retaliatory petition, and that's been made clear by Ms. Massey's statements. What she's admitted to today was that she gave her phone number to a patron at the bar that she worked with or worked at. He'd been going there regularly. They exchanged emails back and forth that are inside the Overton window of how people communicate these days. And eventually, she didn't like what he had to say and vice versa. And that was very clearly, by her own description, communication she voluntarily engaged in that went back and forth. And what was very interesting from her statement today was he sent a message on the morning of the 23rd, and that was the end of it until later in the day, several hours later is what she said. She decided to reinitiate the communication, send back a ha 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 message. And in that message, she is the one who engaged in harassment. She is the one who said, if I see you again, I will kick your ass. That's her written word. That's what she testified to today. That's a threat to do future harm. That actually satisfies the definition of harassment under 9A 46020. So the only person who's satisfied the definition of harassment is her, and that's a threat to cause physical injury or harm to a person in the future. There's no evidence of Mr. Jackson at any point in any of these text messages or emails threatening
we could
physical
change that, Kari.
harm or injury to anyone. So there's just simply no harassment from him. State law does allow us to ask the court to reverse the roles and make Mr. Jackson the petitioner, but we just want this over, so we're not doing that. But he, after being threatened with assault, contacted his lawyer, and his lawyer and him contacted the employer to get information so that they could initiate the process of a protection order. And as she testified today, it was because he went to get an order that she decided she should go get an order. And this is one of those cases of first to court wins type of mentality. So she files that petition. So there's there's nothing that satisfies the definition of harassment here. And there's certainly nothing that satisfies the definition of cyber stalking.
He's a
which
loose cannon.
requires lewd or lascivious language or obscene language, that sort of thing. And again, the only person that's engaged in that is Miss Massey. And then, Your Honor, I would just say that Google reviews, we briefed this pretty extensively, are not something that can be, first of all, they're not communication with her, they are communication about, and that's completely different, and that's protected speech, particularly Google reviews.
Yeah, he went to her.
And I would add that
employer.
there's just non-judicial remedies here. She's blocked him on his phone, on her phone, and the Google reviews have been taken down. So that falls inside the realm of, you know, if you have a business and you register with Google and Yelp, those are, you're saying, you know, people come leave reviews here. And if Google doesn't like the way the reviews were written, they take it down. It doesn't require court intervention. And then I would also say that to the extent that there's a requirement under the law that there need to be a true belief of ongoing fear, she waited 2 weeks to file this petition until April 5th. And again, it wasn't until she thought somebody was going to put a petition on her. She also references this morning that we brought up in briefing her past relationship. And I would just like to be clear that the only reason that was referenced was in her petition. One of the sections of the petition asks if you've ever filed for a protection order of this nature before. And she said she didn't know if she'd ever even done that. And, you know, that's pretty clearly not true. She did know that she had done that. So as she acknowledges today. So that's why we put that in there, because it's got some weight for impeachment. So, Your Honor, this is a case of people who disagree, aren't getting along, and as adults need to move in separate directions, but it's not a case that requires court intervention. And as we sit here today, Mr. Jackson is on clear notice that if he has any further contact with her, if he emails her, if he calls her, if he text messages her, she can renew the petition and it would be reconsidered. And he would be in a very tough spot in a future hearing if there was any further contact. And he knows that, and I will tell him that after this hearing.
10 bones.
But and I would also add, he has no interest in contacting her or being in communication with her. We just don't want one of these orders in place because they cause some problems. So we'd ask you to deny the petition, Your Honor. Thank you.
If he loses this case, he's going to go ape shit crazy.
Heard the testimony, the petitioner, and then also.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Okay, you can make a brief rebuttal.
Okay. The officer, he told me to go get this. The first one I talked to. He told me to go get this protection order and get the paperwork filled out. And that was after the 23rd.
It's okay, Christy.
Yes, because Mr. Jackson was escalating with his threats in the emails.
I believe it, man. He was escalating. He was getting crazy and sending emails to her boss and taking pictures of her boss's house.
Understood. And that's not uncommon for law enforcement to just tell people to go get a protection order. So I certainly believe you when you say that. So
Kiernoth, you ain't done nothing. What'd you do wrong?
Skip to it. So there's looking at the text messages that occurred March 23rd or thereabouts. I mean, really, that was a back and forth communication.
You're fine, brother.
Two parties. It wasn't particularly pleasant. Certainly, some of the things Mr. Jackson said were rude and didn't need to be said. But it was, I mean, part of whether something is harassment, it involves whether it's a course of conduct, and looking at what a course of conduct is, one of the things I have to consider is whether who initiated the conversation or whether both parties were involved.
Hallelujah, brother.
So I'm certainly looking at that. Really, and in terms of posting the reviews, I mean, Mr. Lee's correct. That's protected speech, generally speaking. I mean, I suppose there's ways that it could become not protected speech, but generally, if somebody's posting a bad review about a workplace, then that's generally protected speech.
Yes, I would appreciate if we kept politics out of the chat, guys.
It seems like most of his contacts after March 23rd.
Not calling
were
anybody out,
directed
just
to your
please,
boss,
thank you.
essentially. Not, they were about you sometimes, but they weren't necessarily to you. And then we had this email on March 25th. Was it March 25th? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Whatever
we
the
are,
email was,
Delcy. We're in harassment
on
court.
the 30th, my apologies. That, that's kind of concerning, that email, but that was the last communication. And really, in my mind, that's the only part of this that maybe would contribute to a course of conduct, because the
She
rest
chose not to be.
too directional, or it was about the petitioner and not to the petitioner, or it was to somebody completely separate. So, or for a lawful purpose, trying to get contact information to serve some legal process. So I'm going to dismiss the petition. That being said, as Mr. Lee said, I think both parties are fairly on notice that neither
Hang
party
in there,
wants to hear
Arga.
from the other one. So, if one party hears from the other, you may want to consider filing a petition. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not encouraging or discouraging you from doing that. But of course, you can always file a petition if things change. But at this point, there just isn't enough evidence for me to enter a protection order. So
Mavis.
And Ms. Massey, you can appeal my decision if you like. You can check with district court administration. They can tell you how that process works.
I'm not surprised, by the way.
We will email you a copy of the
Are you
dismissal
guys?
order, and you'll need that if you want to appeal it. You don't have to appeal it. I mean, it's totally up to you. And we'll get a copy of this as well.
I was waiting for it to be like
All right.
some sort of
Thank you, Your
physical
Honor.
contact. I
Thank
thought
you, Your
it
Honor.
escalated.
Have a good
but
day. Mr. Jackson, you can log off now.
Mr. Jackson was there and we didn't get to see him. I would love to see him. He was lurking like a weirdo. Oh my goodness. While we're waiting for him to bring up the next case, guys, don't forget, we got to chase our first Florida Friday at 4:05. We got a members only tonight at 6 p.m. Make sure you are there for that. I'm going to do this while we can hurry up the matter. We'll add him. We'll listen to this for a few minutes while I get
a contested hearing
next
with
one
you
ready.
on Zoom. I'm done with those. So when I have to read things that have been filed and I'm telling you those things, it does not going to do you any good to get mad at
Well,
me.
damn, he's moving right along,
So,
guys. We're on it
If we
today.
can do our hearing today on Zoom,
Let's get
great.
this knocked out.
It's
He's back already. So let's go ahead and are these the people from last week? There's KK. That's the girl. She was in a car last time we saw her, and the guy was inside. Now they've switched places. He's in a car and she is in a house. So sugar mama, sugar daddy, which one is it? We're gonna
Ms.
find out here in a minute.
I see you logged in as K. I think you're Ekaterina Krikova. Is that correct?
Yes.
Екатерина Крикова, вы на линии, да?
Да.
Yes, that's her.
All right, hold on to your hats
Change your
because there's
name
gonna be a
on
little
here,
bit
so
of interpreting.
for the
So
record
let's
also.
hang in there.
Сейчас я
Please.
просто изменю вашу фамилию для протокола, чтобы не забыть.
Yeah, he was a real
Конечно.
piece of crap, but
Sure.
unfortunately, he hadn't done anything bad enough yet, other than being a creep and a real ass. Yeah, he couldn't get it done.
Okay, and so Ms. Krikova, we went over a lot of it last time, but I think we'll probably just have to start over.
Госпожа Крикова, мы в прошлый раз уже многое тут обсудили, но, видимо, нам нужно начать сначала сегодня.
All right, so
Без проблем.
if you guys remember last week, I'm sorry. Yeah, Virginia's have a tough time. Virginia, hang in there. They had started this case and then let Miss Kirkonova, or her here, tell her whole story about how she had started seeing that man after her divorce and things like that, and they'd become intimate. He was married. He's been married at the same time while he was having a sexual relationship with her. And then he stole money from her out of an account and started like talking to her like teenage daughter and inviting her out and just a lot of really weird, creepy stuff. A lot.
Просто по жизни. Я ему
Asked-
рассказала.
He asked me how was life, how I was doing, just small talk, and I responded to him.
И я на тот момент только рассталась с мужем.
At that moment, I just separated from
У меня 4 детей, и было много трудностей. Не знала, что делать, потому что у меня не было работы.
I have 4 children. I was going through a lot of difficulties. I had no job at the time.
И он попросил мой номер телефона, говорит, что у меня есть своя заправка, что мне бывает нужны рабочие, и если что, я тебе позвоню.
He told me that he had his own gas station, that he needed workers or help once in a while, and he would give me a call. And of course, he asked for my phone number.
И на утро он написал «Доброе утро», и так мы начали разговаривать, потом мы пошли на dinner, о многом говорили.
Then the following morning, he got in touch with me, told me good morning. Then we had dinner together.
Мы
Go on.
много-много обсуждали, и он посочувствовал моей ситуации и решил как-то помочь. Потом я его познакомила с детьми, и впоследствии познакомила его с родителями, со всей моей семьей.
So we had a long conversation.
He owns a gas station.
Over dinner, I later introduced him to my parents, to my children. He was very sympathetic to my circumstances.
Вот, и потом началось, мы отдыхать ездили вместе с моей семьей, но мне всегда не нравилось то, что у него, он сказал, что он развелся, а потом, когда мы перестали разговаривать где-то на 5 месяцев, потому что мне нужно, я видела, что я двигаюсь в никуда, и я прервала с ним всякие контакты.
Секундочку. So we went on vacation together. I took my whole family with me. Then he told me at the time that he was divorced. However, we had a little separation time. We haven't had any communication for 5 months.
Oh, he's from over there too.
I just needed to,
Just wait till he starts talking.
To sort things out.
За то время, пока мы не общались, я нашла работу, начала как-то двигаться вперед, но он продолжал общаться с моим сыном, о чем я не знала, со старшим. И в один прекрасный вечер он просто появился у нас дома.
So while we were not talking during those 5 months, I was able to find a job, but he was still communicating, or he was still in touch with my eldest son, which I was not aware of. And then one evening, he just showed up at the front door.
На front yard, и я приехала домой, я его увидела.
He showed up at the front yard. I came home, I saw him.
И мы начали опять разговаривать, я ему объяснила мою ситуацию. На тот момент я уже была разведена, а он сказал, пока ты развелась, я опять успел жениться.
So we started talking. I explained my situation to him. I told him
you're
that
very clear on that one.
I was finally divorced. My divorce was finalized. And he told me that while your divorce was finalized, I went ahead and remarried, got married again.
Вот, и просто я жила в таком доме, с которого нужно было переезжать, и он говорит, вау, ты живешь до сих пор в этом доме, бедные дети, надо что-то делать, я теперь все будет по-другому, потому что ты развелась, я все возьму в свои руки, и тебе нужно срочно переезжать в другой дом. И мы стали искать рент.
So he told me that you're still living in this house. That's not a good situation. We have to get you moved to a new location. Now that you're divorced, I will take care of everything. And we started looking for a place to rent.
Вот, мы переехали в этот дом, и тут рент $3000. На тот
Probably
момент, да,
not,
у меня
Laura.
и зарплата, и все, я как бы могла
I'm heading
покрывать, но
out
он
for a
говорит,
fishing trip
я буду платить
Saturdays,
1000
so
за
we'll
этот
see how the
рент,
timing works
а
out.
остальные ты будешь
Maybe.
покрывать, и как бы так все происходило. Но мне никогда не нравилось то, что мои дети всегда просили, чтобы с его детьми познакомиться, потому что они тоже живут в Ванкувере, и все, он говорит, нет, 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 они studying, у них нету времени. И мне вот эта
Correct,
ситуация не
Yernoff,
нравилась, потому
correct.
что я была на 100% открыта с ним, познакомилась со всей семьей, и мне было всегда неудобно, потому что я open, а он, я даже не знаю, кто он. Если что, вдруг, мне даже некому позвонить, спросить, как у него дела, если вдруг что-то случится. Я даже не знаю ни одного человека с его стороны, ни одного.
So the rent was $3,000. I was able to cover it. He told me that he would pay $1,000 and I would have to cover the
$3,000?
rest. My children always wanted to meet his children, but he would always tell me that that's not possible, that his children were busy or something
My
else.
kids ain't got time for
So I
that.
never liked that particular situation because I was always open and honest with him. He was not, I felt, and I never even met any members or any member of his family. And I felt that if something were to happen, I wouldn't even know who to call and how to find him and who to contact.
In case your old ass
И
dies
мне
while
эта
you're on
ситуация
top of
вообще
me,
никогда не
how do I
нравилась.
contact your family?
So I never really liked that situation.
Просто время идет, года идут, и я думаю, кто знает, я доверяла ему полностью, он знает всю мою информацию, абсолютно все. А я о нем вообще ничего не знаю. Я только знаю, когда он с нами. Все, я не знаю, что, чего, как. Это как в одни ворота.
So I kind of didn't like the situation because I felt that I trusted him, that he knew everything about me, about my family, but I knew nothing about him or his family, and I just was uncomfortable with the whole thing.
Oh,
И все продолжалось окей. Некоторые были неприятности с детьми с моими. Дети мои не все... Было время, когда было окей, было время, когда совсем не окей. И я смотрела на многие вещи, и как все происходит, и мне совершенно не устраивала эта ситуация. Я решила прервать все это. И он в один вечер пришел, он хотел... Да.
Okay, so there were times when the things were going well, things were okay. My children at times were fine. Then there were other times when they were not fine. Then one day I made the decision to break up the relationship with him.
И он пришел в один вечер, мы где-то неделю, наверное, не общались. Он пришел в один вечер, это было воскресенье. Он хотел
Last week we had
ласки,
the really old
всего,
lady.
он хотел, чтобы мы переспали, и все, но я сказала, нет, я не чувствую этого. Он говорит, а что ты вообще хочешь? Я говорю, я хочу достичь поинта, где я могу стоять на собственных ногах, ни от кого не зависеть, ничего никому не быть должна, потому что он постоянно спрашивал, я убираю дома, езжу по разным адресам, а где ты, а что ты, во сколько закончишь? Он сильно контролировал все.
So then one evening he showed up at my place. We haven't spoken for a week. Before then, he wanted to make love. I didn't feel like, like having any intimacy with him. He knew that I was cleaning houses, and he would always ask when I would come back, where I was. So he was really controlling, and that was uncomfortable for me.
Я ему сказала, что мне это не нравится, я хочу сама быть, чтобы ни от кого не зависеть, никому не отчитываться, ничего.
And so I told him that I wanted to basically be independent, to have my foot on the ground, my feet on the ground, and to be able to take care of myself and my family, and don't want to be dependent on anyone.
И он говорит, хорошо, можешь начать прямо сейчас, я тебя не держу.
I mean, she was sleeping with a married man.
get started right away, that he was not holding me back.
Вот, и потом неделю после этого, оказывается, он сделал 4 перевода с моего аккаунта на свой аккаунт.
Then I found out a week after that, a week from that day, that he made 4 different bank transfers from my account to his account.
Как раз эти деньги, которым я должна была заплатить за рент.
These were the monies that I was supposed to pay the rent with.
И потом в конце марта мы пошли, встретились в Sherry's поговорить. Я его спросила, зачем он это сделал. Он говорит, да, я поступил как трус. Я говорю, ты мог меня спросить, я могла тебе, потому что он говорит, что потратил очень много денег на нас. И еще он был злой на моего... Да, sorry.
He wants to make love. He's ready to make love. I mean,
so with him, with Isaac.
Okay. Значит, вы встретились в конце марта, и что еще?
Мы встретились поговорить в Sherry's после того, как я увидела, что он произвел эти транзакции. Да.
We all know.
So at the end of March, we met at Sherry's to basically see why those transactions took place. И дальше?
И вообще, что происходит, и он сказал все, да.
And to discuss what was going on in general, and he told me that was it.
И он сказал, что ты все равно должна покрыть рент, потому что я очень потратил много денег вас на всех, и вообще он обзывал моего сына плохими словами и сказал, что твой сын вообще, я его ненавижу, потому что мы всегда, когда шли в ресторан, он выбирал самые дорогие места, где я оставлял по $200-300, и мне это всегда злило, и вообще все мои дети плохие, и, в общем, короче, он злой на ту ситуацию, что он много потратился на нас, и он просил мне возвратить компьютер, который он мне подарил на Крисмас, цепочку, которую подарил, с камнем, который подарил на 14 февраля.
So basically, he was very angry. He told me that I should cover the rent because he spent so much money on me and my family. He hated my son every time we went out to eat in a restaurant. My son would always choose supposedly the most expensive dishes, and we would leave anywhere between $200 and $300 for a meal. Then he wanted me to give him back the computer he gave me for Christmas, as well as the necklace he gave me for Valentine's Day.
И для него самое страшное это то, что узнает его семья, что вот это все происходило в его жизни с нами. Он сказал, если кто-то из его семьи узнает, он сказал, что те видео, которые я делал, он снимал меня на видео на свой телефон, что я не хотела каждый раз, но я же не могла с ним ругаться, драться или как-то. И он имеет видео, наши личные видео, которые только мы можем смотреть, он и я, потому что мы были в отношениях. Он говорит, если моя семья что-то узнает об этих наших отношениях, кто-то из моей семьи, то я распространю все эти видео по всей Russian community.
So then he told me that if his family were to find out about our relationship, he would expose the videos he made of me and him, very personal, intimate videos. He would make them basically available to the entire Russian community.
И он сказал, любое действие от тебя в мою...
So he's threatened to put them nudes out, them sex pics. The whole Russian community will know that she has a birthmark just on the inside of her thigh.
Сторону, prepare for the reaction.
So he told me that if I took any kind of an action against him, that would be followed by a certain reaction from him.
И я не знаю, что делать, поэтому я прошу protection order, я не знаю, что ожидать от этого человека, потому что он говорит, у меня много денег, у меня лучшие адвокаты. И,
I'm asking for a protection order from this person. I don't know what to expect from him. He claims he's got a lot of money. He can afford the best legal, assistance, a lawyer and whatnot. So I'm asking for a protection order, please.
Потому что мы были во многих публичных местах, где видели нас другие люди, даже если не моя семья скажет его семье, очень много знакомых людей, общих знакомых, которые живут в сабдивижене, где живет его семья. И очень многие люди нас видели в общественных местах. Это может сказать кто угодно, не знаешь. А потом я буду
So we have been seen by many people in a lot of public places. We have been seen together. So a lot of people can basically confirm my story.
Is he gonna say they didn't date and they weren't together and stuff like that?
And when, can you tell me the date that meeting was at Sherry's?
Когда вы с ним встречались, Шерис? Какое это было число? Можете сказать?
Это было в конце марта.
That was the end of
Не знаю
March.
точно.
I don't recall the date, but that was the end of March.
Let it play. It's
30th
evident,
or something.
Your Honor.
30th, perhaps.
Do you guys all send
And
out
have you
like
spoken to
dirty
him since
videos
that?
of people too?
А с тех
Like,
пор вы с ним,
is
с
that
тех пор вы с
pretty
ним общались
common?
после этого?
Нет.
No.
Нет.
Right. Let's see. And then Ms. Martin, I did read over your response.
Okay. Да,
Значит,
еще не...
я прочитала ответ госпожи Мартин.
Would you like to offer any argument, or would your client be testifying today?
Вы хотели бы что-то предложить, какой-то аргумент, или ваш клиент будет давать показания?
Your Honor, at this point in time, I would ask the court to dismiss Ms. Krakova's petition under CR 12B6. We know that the RCW pertaining to anti-harassment places the burden of proof on the petitioner by a preponderance of the evidence. The statute requires that that proof be met by demonstrating that there was repeated, unwanted contact or monitoring for no lawful purpose. The statute further states that respondents' actions would have needed to seriously harm, harass, or annoy the victim for no lawful purpose, causing her substantial emotional distress or fear of well-being of petitioner's children. I listened to the testimony today.
I'm sorry. If you could pause.
Sure. Could you just back up a little bit and repeat the whole thing in short sentences so that I can interpret to
Oh, son of a bitch.
No
No.
problem.
Thank you.
Okay. So at this juncture, we're asking that the court dismiss Ms. Krakova's petition pursuant to 12B6.
Значит, мы просим, чтобы суд отклонил заявление госпожи Крюковой о запретительном ограничительном ордере на основании закона или положения 12Б6.
The burden of proof in the anti-harassment statute is on the petitioner, and it requires her to meet that.
Is that true? I mean, so when you break up with somebody now, they're just repeating what they just said, by the way, we're not missing anything. Is it true that if, so is there a law that once you break up with somebody, you should immediately get rid of them? You have to delete. That's part of the breakup agreement nowadays. Well, thank you for, I'm glad, Carol.
The statute requires that the petitioner must prove repeated, unwanted contact and or monitoring for no lawful purpose.
Поэтому истец должен доказать, что в данном случае имело место повторное и нежелательный контакт, и не было никакого незаконного основания для этого.
The respondent must prove that she was seriously harmed, harassed, or annoyed for no lawful purpose.
И ответчик должен доказать, что ее преследовали и причиняли ей разные неудобства в соответствии с законом, то есть не имея под этим никакой законной основы.
As a result of that, she must prove that she suffered substantial emotional distress or fear for the well-being of her children.
Поэтому она должна доказать, что страдала от эмоциональных потрясений и что ее детям тоже был какой-то стресс или какие-то Тональное потрясение, вызванное таким контактом нежелательным.
Yeah, Russian makes it so
The
much
facts
longer.
presented at the prior hearing when she was sworn under
It's like
oath
adding in
and
words.
today's hearing indicate the following.
Значит, в прошлый раз, когда вы давали показания под присягой, и во время сегодняшних показаний, мы пришли к следующему выводу.
She stated that respondent did a lot for her and the kids.
Она сказала, что ответчик много сделал для нее и ее детей.
She stated today that the relationship ended at the end of March.
Она сегодня также сказала, что отношения у них закончились в конце марта.
She stated that she'd had no contact with Mr. Dweek since the end of March or when she met him at Sherry's.
Сказала, что у нее не было контакта с господином Двиком с конца марта, когда они прекратили общаться, и после встречи в Шеррис.
She stated that the last contact that Mr. Dweek had with her children was a week prior to the Sherry's meeting.
Значит, она сказала, что последний контакт, который был у него с ее детьми, он был до встречи в Шеррис.
She stated at the previous hearing that she never told Mr. Dweek during the relationship not to have contact with her children.
Далее она сказала, что она...
Is there anyone among us that would be mad if I skip ahead any in this case? I need to know.
She stated at the last hearing that she did not tell Mr. Dweek to have no contact with her children.
Значит, на прошлом слушании вы сказали, что вы не говорили господину Двику, чтобы у него не было контакта с вашими детьми.
During both last hearing's testimony and today's hearing, go ahead.
Okay, I see what everybody's saying.
Во время показаний
на
прошлом слушании и во время сегодняшних.
We will send a order of dismissal to both parties. We will email that, assuming we have email addresses.
So just dismiss.
Таким образом, сегодняшнее постановление об отклонении заявления будет выслано.
On to the next one. Wow, all that just to dismiss it.
Okay. One thing I noticed, before we proceed, I should probably talk about this. Mr. Carroll, it looks like you have, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you have, and I'm not going to ask you about the facts of it, so don't talk about the facts of it, but it looks like you have a pending criminal case involving the petitioner's husband. Is that right?
Yeah, and so that's why I'm confused, because I basically had my leg broken and my orbital on my head fractured, and like they lied in the case and said I pushed them down the stairs.
Rights. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you at a future proceeding. Because this is a civil case, you don't have the right to have an attorney represent you, except under your
Understood.
You should pay for it yourself. And so I'm not going to stop you from talking about the facts of that pending criminal case, but I'm guessing if you spoke with your attorney on that, they.
Well, no, I did, and I have her statement, and so that's how I'm going to be able to like make this assault case very apparent, because basically it's them saying that I pushed them down the stairs, but they didn't realize in the incident when they pushed me down the stairs that my
both parties in. We'll just proceed with the hearing. Sounds like Mr. Carroll has no concerns about making any sort of admissions in a criminal case. So if you could raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth?
He just came in hot, didn't he?
Yes.
I swear.
Look who did. I was high as
shit.
And
then, so stand by, Mr. Carroll. I'll hear from Ms. Donahue first, because she's the petitioner. She also has a burden of proof, and then you'll get a chance to respond to that. So,
this dude got
Donahue,
thrown down on some stairs.
I see your name in the petition is Jessica Lynn Donahue Schultz.
Yes, correct.
Would you like to be
Mr. Schultz, please.
Schultz, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Schultz.
So the reason that I filed this restraining order, it was advised from Officer Pokey to do so. So leading up to the assault, there was multiple instances with the cops having to come due to myself and other neighbors calling based on verbal disturbances and wellness checks for domestic violence. I have emails that date back all the way till the December 16th of me reaching out to our management in hopes that they could do something. Unfortunately, management could not do anything because they were in the middle of opening a case, I think that went on for 2 months, to evict the residents. Mr. Carroll was actually not on the lease, so he was represented by squatting rights, which made the eviction really hard. Through my emails and everything like that, I stated in it the violent behavior, the hostile environment that was created, and then constantly asking for
Oh, she
help
said
with it
hot dog
in fear
environment.
that it was going to escalate. And unfortunately, on April 7th, it did. I had a different interaction with Mr. Carroll. I think it was March 22nd of him again having an episode where he was screaming outside his balcony. I was walking to my car. He was screaming at his girlfriend. And me and another
Not this
neighbor were
guy.
making sure that she was okay. In that instance, when it happened, the lady that lives under them in apartment 157, she came out very distraught with her grandchildren, and she started shaking, looking like she was either going into cardiac arrest or into a seizure. And so I was trying to help her. She was in the middle of calling the police. She said, she even kept saying, I'm sick of this. I keep having to call the police for this, and that whole situation. After that, that's when Mr. Carroll came down. He approached us, me and the other neighbors, trying to get us away from his girlfriend. The police
away
ended
from my
up calling.
girlfriend.
He ended up running off the premises, which every time the police have been called, he leaves the property because technically he was not supposed to be on it. And so I ended up getting
I can't wait for this guy to
a Ring
testify.
video doorbell just for my own safety, just because it's really uncomfortable. We lived right next to each other. The violent behavior was constantly happening. The screaming was constantly happening. We were constantly having to call wellness checks, which I also have those videos if you wanted them. And then April 7th happened. I understand that in Mr. Carroll's perspective that he was the one kicked down the stairs, but it actually wasn't. He punched my husband
Squatter
in the face
rights.
and
Come
then
on.
pushed
We
him
all know
down the
about
stairs.
squatter rights.
And we actually have a witness report on the case as well, saying that they viewed the same thing. I've never spoke to this person before, but with their witness, they wrote exactly what happened was that my husband was trying to disengage. He tried leaving multiple times. And then when he did turn around and walk away, Jordan punched him in the face, and he turned around and defended himself. And that is what happened there. And the reason I put a restraining order in is because
it's such a lie.
everything that has happened in
Stand
March.
by, don't interrupt.
And so it's everything that, even the altercation that I had with Jordan, because
shit right
in that situation, I was trying to help with his girlfriend. We were in her apartment and everything and talking, and he came in and he started screaming, freaking out, wanted me to leave. I didn't leave yet. I was waiting for the girl to tell me to make sure that she was safe. When she did tell me to leave, I did leave. And he even has a recording of this as well as me trying to leave. And it shows on the recording that I do leave when she asks me to. After that, he proceeded to follow me to my apartment across the way, in my face, screaming at me, stuff like that. That was the first instant my husband came out, was like, hey, we're done, separate, like this is enough. And so then I was going out to make my complaint with management. And Jordan Carroll was actually stopping me from being able to go down the stairs.
Did
So
this all happen? I'm sorry.
How did he stop her?
This all on March 21st.
That happened in March. That incident happened in March. The assault happened in April. But I have been emailing management since, I have a timestamp of it, December 16th of 2021.
Okay, and then
This is such
the
a
assault,
lie, man.
that was of your husband, right? Not you.
Yep. Yes.
Were
Correct.
you present when that happened?
I was present, yes.
Did Mr. Carroll say or do anything to you on that
Dude,
day?
do I look like I could block her
Yelling
going
like
down
he
some
usually
stairs?
does, just telling us that we messed up, that we're so lucky that we're in Washington State, not Oregon State. Like, even after the altercation and my husband was walking away, he was still provoking my husband and screaming at us and stuff like that.
Okay.
Are they gonna bring a translator in for this guy?
Do you know why did he say you're so lucky you're in Washington, not in Oregon?
I don't know. I didn't really understand. There was the thing that that makes me so concerned about Mr. Carroll, and one of the reasons I do want a restraining order is because of the neurotic behavior, how instantly his behavior will change and turn violent and turn into screaming, to where at any point you kind of don't know how he's going to handle a situation. And it shows that he has a repetitive pattern of being this way and
Loud will see at
making
405
hostile. And
ish.
even though it's me asking for a restraining order, it's me and the whole building was filing complaints to the management and to the police. And when I spoke to the police, and I got the police report as well, they even stated that they've had been coming because we have all been calling for domestic violence and verbal disturbance since January.
Rachel.
Okay, and then on March 21st, forgive me if you said this already, but what did he say to you specifically?
He was just telling me to shut up, but I didn't know what I was talking about. He was just screaming at me. At one point, when I was trying to intervene between him getting to his girlfriend, he ran up on me and he was like, "Oh, you want to be tough?" And he gestured like he was going to hit me. And he did that a second time inside the apartment as well.
Had you engaged him somehow?
He's almost done,
I
guys.
engaged
Don't
him.
worry.
I was just telling him to leave.
My in-laws had squatters in their
I was more in worry of
burn the
safety of
house
the girlfriend,
down.
which unfortunately, that is something that I learned myself to possibly not get in between again.
Has he had any contact with you since the April incident?
No, just really just foul language and outside of my ring, because my ring records, I can hear it. Him and whoever was helping them move as well were inspecting my packages, and just foul language, talking about my husband, just acting very ridiculous and making the environment uncomfortable.
Was he?
If we had covered
talking
that,
at you,
we would
or
have had
just
to cover
happened
it
be
like
talking about you and picked up
He
on the
talking
camera?
about me. And I also noticed that after the assault, he was also leaving and arriving to his apartment with a hammer.
Uh-oh, hammer time.
All right. And then Mr. Carroll, would you like to add to all that, if anything?
Yeah, so like she's just very like just kind of like has a misconduction of the story, because like she was unaware that I basically had a very large.
Did he just say misconduction of the story? Oh, this is gonna be good.
Surgery done, and I have a doctor who's gonna write like a whole like my capabilities and where I was at. And what I mean by that is, so during that time I was 2 weeks out from a full labrum surgery, so I had a full reconstructive shoulder surgery. And so we had a couple noise ordinance, and I have my girlfriend as a witness, and she can accordingly say like, you know, everything that I'm saying. And we've had a couple of noise ordinance for us arguing and whatnot, and I can take full credibility to that. And that one was because basically I had 2 weeks. At 2 weeks, I had just had a surgery, like I said, and I had moved some laundry like really bad, and I started screaming really bad in the apartment. And I told my girlfriend out the balcony to come help me. I just hurt my shoulder. I had reconstructive surgery on it, like I had stitches coming out. And so I go out of the apartment. I'm yelling and screaming, like, "Come help me!" Jessica's following me, telling me to leave, like she's telling me on the thing. And then I just go to like the end of the apartment, like she said, I left. And an officer came and evaluated me, seen I had stitches coming out of my shoulder. There was blood on them. I have public record of the video because they have dash cam, and the dash cam clearly shows that I have blood on my shoulder. I had just hurt it. I have medical records saying that I had a very, very serious surgery. And during that, I was telling them that I had this surgery, and they were yelling at me saying, "You're a liar. You're just fucking crazy." And then I started yelling at them like, "I have a serious injury. You guys are yelling at me because I'm trying to get my girlfriend. This is none of your guys' business. You don't have stitches coming out of you." And that's basically what that was. It was me yelling at them like, "Leave me alone." And she's lying by saying I followed her down the stairs because I have stitches coming out of me. I'm bleeding. I'm trying to get off of the fucking property, not fight people. Like
I'm not against
when
it.
you have a labrum tear, you can't push more than 20 pounds. So therefore, right there, my doctor can already contest that I am physically unable to push another human being. April 6th, it would have been impossible for me to lift 20 pounds because my labrum 5 weeks after the surgery is not attached to the bone. So based off of literal, like factual evidence, you are not healed from a labrum surgery till about 2 to 3 months after your surgery. And at that point, I was only at week 4. So I wouldn't have been able to lift 2 pounds, let alone I wouldn't have been able to push another person down a set of stairs because my shoulder wouldn't have been able to push a 150-pound male down the stairs. Henceforth, that's why I have medical records after I got pushed down the stairs, April 6th, actually. I have a broken tibia, a broken fibula, and a fractured orbital on my skull. I have the medical records and it's attached to the police file. And so what I'm basically stating is, so how does she need a restraining order when my leg broke and her husband pushed me downstairs? That's why my leg broke. And then my second hearing is, well, my second saying would be, if I pushed the husband down the stairs, at what point did my leg break? So, and it wouldn't make sense in a, you know, it's in a photographic brain. If you see me, it's like she's saying, pushing her husband down the stairs, then how did my leg break when he got pushed down the stairs? They're lying to cover themselves, because what actually happened is my girlfriend seen the whole incident. Jessica wasn't outside for the whole incident, so that's a lie. So if you wanted to get a lie detector test, you would fail that. Mariela Reyes, my girlfriend, was out for the whole incident. She actually took a video of the end of the incident. They have no video evidence. I have video evidence of her boyfriend punching me in the head. I have a broken tibia and fibula. And the only thing they say is hearsay of me pushing her husband down the stairs, when really her husband came up, grabbed me by my hair, and that's when I threw a punch because another man grabbed me when I'm unable to defend myself because I just had a major surgery. And another thing to make note of that is he knew my shoulder was hurt, and that's what caused the incident. Is I walked outside to go on a run, and he said, "Ha ha, how's your shoulder feel?" And I basically used profanity and called him a pussy because I said, "Wow, you're gonna be a pussy and bully me because you know I can't defend myself." And knowing that I'm injured, knowing that my shoulder's hurt, and knowing that I had an incident, like she said, 2 weeks prior where they called on me, but it wasn't for domestic. It was because my shoulder was injured. And
Mr. Carroll,
like I said,
for a second, I think we can focus this a little bit. Have you, basically, we got kind of 2 incidents that we're talking about and maybe some other kind of background noise, but have you said or yelled anything to Ms. Schultz?
No, I have not. I've had no issues with her. That's what I'm saying. The issue I have is with her husband pushing me downstairs and then lying, saying I assaulted them when I'm the one with broken bones from the incident and her husband doesn't have a scratch on him. And so that's what I would say is if you said someone did something, then how come the other person that did that thing is the one with the broken leg? Because if you get pushed downstairs,
yeah, we don't have to talk about the injuries or the assault really, because that's kind of not the issue here. It's really the issues Ms. Schultz saying that you're harassing.
Well, yeah,
her.
and nothing happened with her that day. I was going on a run and the incident happened with her boyfriend. She came out after my leg was already broken. So I don't know why she needs a restraining order from someone that got their leg broken from her husband. It makes zero sense.
Yeah, we got that. He broke your leg.
Yeah, go ahead. Briefly.
Okay, yeah. So the verbal stuff that Jordan did say to me, it was on not the day of the assault. It was with the apartment. And he called me, he was making fun of my weight and just calling me all these horrible things and stuff like that. And with the situation where Mr. Carroll is saying that
you just added that, you didn't say that your first story
and everything like that, my husband also, we were told that he was not allowed to be on the premises, and my husband even asked, and I was watching it from Ring. And me and Officer Pokey had that and everything like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to download it to him because of the loud yelling. It was such a long video. We couldn't send it through email. He said, "I thought you weren't supposed to be on the property. I thought you were evicted. What are you doing here?" And I understand in that situation too. I was scared myself. So my husband works graveyard, but he was making a point to wake up every day. So I got home from work that he was there to answer the door when I was there because we were in such close quarters. It was very uncomfortable. And as for the breaking his leg, when I came out and I witnessed what was happening, Jordan Carroll was wrapped around my husband's feet. And I think that is more of what hurt his leg, because he was trying to wrestle somebody on the stairs, as well as
Oh my
when
gosh,
he's saying
you
that my husband had
liar.
nothing
Stop interrupting.
my husband actually, when Carol pushed him down the stairs, he caught himself on the railing, and he does have a muscle tear on his rib cage. And now I understand that there is also
Definitely, Jim.
Mr. Carroll's girlfriend who's saying that she witnessed it, but all the times that we have called the police and all the times we've gone to management, and even management, they said she backs up his story, even when we have witnessed. And I spoke with his girlfriend on my own before he even came in that, and she told me some stuff, which I don't feel like disclosing on here for her own safety. So I understand that there are two different perspectives with how that assault went down and everything like that. My restraining order isn't only based on the assault. My restraining order is months of violent and verbal behavior that is a pattern after the cops have been called, management has been called, they have been evicted, that because of this
We actually
situation.
haven't been evicted.
So
Stop
they
it.
were, thank you. And so they were also, this is uncomfortable. These people know where I live. I even heard them on the ring talking about what cars I drive and stuff like that. And like I said, with this whole situation, it's not even a talking
that metal?
matter. Just for how different both of our perspectives are on this. We do have a witness on our statement who I've never talked to and said the exact same story I did. And I will let the assault and everything like that, that's going to be handled on a different day. As for this and for my restraining order, I'm very uncomfortable. And I'm very terrified that this man, or even anybody that he associates with, knows
hope we
where I
get this
live and
thrown
knows
out.
where my car is, because when they were moving out, somebody was inspecting my packages on my front porch. And I don't understand why. The boundaries have been crossed, and it's very uncomfortable.
Okay, so it looks like we have essentially
Yeah.
2 incidents and then some background unpleasantness within the neighborhood. With regard to the most recent incident, the alleged assault.
I was a
mean,
husky lad.
Ms. Schultz was there, but wasn't really the target of that, and it doesn't seem like it was more her husband who was the target of that. And then with regard to the March 21st, I mean, there's one incident there, and that's I mean, basically it wasn't just Ms. Schultz involved with that. It sounds like there's a lot going on there. So what I'm getting at is for me to find that there's, let me finish, for me to find that there's
Shut up.
harassment, I have to find there's conduct, which is not just one incident, but a string of incidents. And they all have to be basically directed at a specific person. So although I don't doubt that Mr. Carroll is maybe not the best neighbor in the world, based on what you're telling me, I don't have any reason to disbelieve that. I can't find that what you're describing really meets the definition of harassment, because it does have to all be like a specific person. So I can't make that finding. I'm going to dismiss your petition. That being said, Mr. Carroll, I'd strongly advise you not to have any contact with Ms. Schultz. I'm sure if you
No,
have any
and
contact
so
with her in the future,
If you want her husband to kick your ass again.
Oh, sorry, you cut out. My apologies. So I've actually got myself away from the premises because I don't want any issues or any drama or anything. So I've actually vacated the premises just based off I don't want any more issues, and I'm still recovering from surgeries and injuries. So
that's good. Do you have so you're not living at that address anymore?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm not going to read this on the record, but do you have an address that starts with 19162 perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm just
all right. We threw this case out. We're going to jump over here and see.
May I ask a question, Your Honor?
What our favorite judge is up to.
Yes.
I was wondering if, because I was told with management, and management said if you need anything, they'll be able to give you anything.
All right, I'm going to set your probable cause conference for May 5th.
We dealing with jailbirds or what?
At 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll be in front of Judge Manley. Do you understand that?
Yes.
See his twizzle straw. Very nice.
Okay. Now, let me go ahead and give you bond conditions. You have to appear for any examination, arraignment, trial, sentencing, or at any time and place as directed by the courts. You're represented by a lawyer. Any notices to appear will be given to the lawyer instead of to you. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have to abide by any judgment entered in the case and surrender to serve any sentence imposed. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do not leave Michigan without court permission. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do not commit any crimes while you are released. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Notify the court in writing of any change of address or telephone number. Do you understand?
Snacks.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do not use any alcohol, marijuana, or illegal or controlled substances. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
There will be drug testing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Drug
You're not to
testing.
purchase or possess a firearm or other dangerous weapon and no ammunition. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh God, I hope not. She looks terrible.
Those are your bond conditions. Mr. Skinner, you want to talk to me about
Well,
bond?
it's Earth Day, Your Honor, and assuming no one was injured at the time of this encounter. And I guess it's a demonstration of
You did?
goodwill by the court towards
Like this?
Harris. She seems to be a unitive person.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like state troopers are involved in this contact. Recognize one of them. I would recommend a personal recognizance bond. She represents no criminal history to our office, not on probation or parole.
Okay.
That's
Ooh,
what I want.
two more. Let's do it, people. Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, this defendant does have a $1,000 general bond currently out of the Mount Morris Division of the 67th District Court. I don't know what the charge was.
Take away all the fun stuff, huh, TK?
Okay.
That's a beautiful lady. Come on. Pamela? Shit. Beautiful flowing hair.
Well, even a child can fire a weapon.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Go on.
Remember the Kayla Rowland case?
We have benefited the police statement.
No, there was no weapon. No, there was no weapon. There was no weapon involved. Okay. I think they got mad because she slammed the door on their foot.
Yes.
Okay. And they were there to take her kids away. So, you know, that's not a. But on the other hand, I don't want her drinking or using drugs. You know, I want her to stay straight and keep her eyes on the prize, you know? And you
Just
know,
keep shaking your
she's
head,
using
yeah.
drugs, so I'm really concerned. She used meth a week ago. So I think that's what the pending charge is about, the meth case.
Oh, not the
I think.
meth.
I'm gonna set the bond
2,000.
as cash or surety.
2,000. 2,500.
No, well, cash or surety, $700.
700? That's it?
700. 700. Go to a bondsman with $70 and you're out. Ma'am, you've got to stay. You're going to be drug tested. Are they drug testing you anyway? Yes?
Yeah, they did today.
Oh,
Well, you
wonder
got
what
to
they
stay
found out.
straight, man. Or you're going to go back to jail.
Saw a great picture of Mike Tyson and
And,
Ric Flair together
you know,
yesterday.
There's other bad ramifications. Okay.
Everything.
You get it. You got it. All right, you can step out of there.
Thank you.
Agreed. JG agreed. Don't mess
Do they wear
with
boots?
you, Judge.
Iron Mike.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ken.
You bet.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbs.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you to
thank you, Glenn.
all of the
And thank
people
you, Mr.
out on
Flynn.
YouTube.
Mr. Finn, I mean, geez, I can't even talk today. Too many phone
Take
calls.
care. I am just trying to. Take care.
Bye-bye.
He's called me every time you were about to get done.
That's good. That's good. You
I know.
He's a
Anyway.
wellspring of information.
Yeah. Go on, Judge.
All right, people of the.
Oh no.
Oh, this is an old file. People of the state of Michigan versus Syed Mansour West, case number 12E.
Delcy, you got to get somebody to dig a hole, have a funeral for that bird.
Charge is improper plates. You swear you in. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge, understanding, and belief.
Yeah.
What is your full legal name?
Syed Mansour West.
Spell that for my court recorder, please.
SAYYID, middle name MANSUR, last name West, WEST.
Rough.
Okay, there's a bench warrant here
Nature
signed
Boy's
by the
looking rough.
late Judge Collier Nix, saying that you did not pay fines and costs of $275 plus a late fee of $74, bench warrant fee of $50 for a balance of $399, or serve 10 days in jail.
Ooh, which
You
one's
had
he gonna
until
do?
May 25th, 2015 to do that. And there's another $50 bench warrant cost assessed, so. Is this your client, Mr. Skinner, or no?
I don't have any notes. I did speak with.
Oh yeah,
this
he
gentleman earlier
tapped him. He
today,
just
And
rabbit punch. If he'd have really hit him, he'd have killed him.
understood that there was an unpaid fine or cost, and that's why he.
This was really old. I really should clean off my desk sometime.
Well, what do you want to tell them? I mean, you got to pay this money or go to jail. What do you want to do?
He wants to know, are you employed? How long it's going to take for you to pay the outstanding?
Well, let me say that. Let me just say this, because look here, this has been going on since 2012.
I didn't know. I had to warn. I've been out of state.
You got extensions on paying this. You told dead judges that.
I never knew I had a warrant. I'm a
dead
very
judges
serious,
that.
unfortunately.
Okay.
That happened in 2012.
That what that?
I switched my license plates on my car.
No. This case, the date that this case happened. Let's get the right date together, because I don't think you're telling me this.
Whoa. What happened to Judge's cam? Judge. Oh, Judge. Oh, my gosh. This Judge. All right, we're going to give it a few minutes, see if he comes back. I hate to leave the Judge hanging. I don't know, but if he doesn't come back in a few minutes, I'm going to call the show. Just, say that we're done for the day, because I got to get ready for, we got to chase our very first Florida Friday. Make sure you're there for that, because we're going to.
Not any money.
Oh, there we go. What happened, Judge? What's happened?
Well, look, let me make a suggestion to you. 10 days with day for day is really what, 5 days? Is that how they count it, Mr. Skinner?
Man.
Day for day, yes.
All right. So if he went into jail today, so they count today, they count Saturday, they count Sunday. So when does he get out? Okay, they count Monday. So he gets out Tuesday morning, 12:01 a.m.
Hello, yoo-hoo.
Something like that.
I'm not sure. Would that case
Sitting
have
back
been
down.
reassigned to your courtroom?
I don't know. I don't know. No, Collier, well,
Should have gone Gwen if it stayed with the courtroom.
it is a Gwen case.
So.
Yeah, he's not
our
gonna
request
pay
would
that.
be that the matter be set for a pretrial or a review or something, and then, sir, you get to Wells Fargo and get the necessary money, pay the clerk up the front, and then when you appear in front of Judge Gwynn with your receipt, as opposed to going to jail, spending the weekend, there's no guarantee you're getting out Sunday night. You might be in there till next week. I think.
Why do you think that? They'll get him out.
I wouldn't roll the dice. I would not roll the dice.
Agent, you're completely right. I'm glad
Why
that
don't we have an ATM machine still?
debunk that.
I have no idea, Judge. At one time, I know it was taken out of the building, but I don't know if it's back.
One in circuit court.
No, isn't there an ATM machine out there? Look. I think that, Glenda, is there an ATM machine?
Let me go check. Right.
Go check and see.
Take his
Meantime-
card and take the money out right now. It's probably where you went to college. I got a good feeling that's probably where.
There's been 2 bench warrants. You keep asking for extensions, but you don't pay.
Look, he's got his whole mask off.
So what should they do? Forget about it?
Why is he even wearing it?
You would? Okay, well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second, Mr. West. Mr. West. Now, you're an honorable man, right? Okay.
Hell, here we
All
go.
right. And other than this, you try to do the right thing, don't you? And when people do the wrong thing, it probably bothers you a little bit, doesn't it? Not a lot. Okay, so let's say somebody else got the same kind of ticket as you, same day, same time. They paid theirs and didn't get bench warrants. Now you think about the idea. Oh, good. Think about the whole notion that maybe, maybe their kid didn't get a birthday gift because they paid this fine. Or maybe they didn't get to go on spring break because they paid their fine. Or maybe the consumer's bill. Maybe they were late on paying their gas bill. Somebody who got tickets like this paid them and sacrificed to do it. So you being an honorable man ought to understand that it's disrespectful to those people who did what they're supposed to for you to say, well, we'll just forget about it. You not see that? Is that a yes or a what?
3-pointer.
So we have an ATM machine. They take debit or credit cards at that window. So if you want that warrant lifted, you need to go over there and pay it. I mean, seriously, this has gone on for too long, 10 years. And other people, the world, wars have been fought in less time than it takes you to pay this. Right? So go pay it and be done with it. Or spend the weekend in jail. We'll see.
Well, my Michelle, can you send it to me?
Yeah, he can bring me his receipt.
I'd like to see that.
You know, he told me he's an honorable man, so he's going to come back with a receipt.
Does Judge Herman? What does Judge Herman look like? I said, what does Judge Herman look like?
All right. Let's go to people of the state of Michigan versus Shayla Tanila Shalala.
Do you think Mr. West is going to go pay it right now?
Dukes, case number 22 T00399FY.
File
This is
13.
a charge of carrying a concealed weapon. Let me swear you in.
Oh, a concealed weapon.
Swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is truth to the best of your knowledge, understanding, and belief.
By the way, guys, please like this video.
Yes.
What is your full name?
Shalala Tanila Dukes,
And how old are you?
29.
Okay, this is your client, Mr. Skin.
Ms. Vicari spoke with Ms. Dukes earlier today regarding the one count felony complaint alleging carrying concealed weapon. We have a letter. You have that letter with you, please? Why don't you go get that letter so I can present it to the court? It might affect.
I got a letter just the other day. He's got the sippy cup. He's been hanging out with the guy in the murder kitchen.
I don't have the envelope.
Cash it.
She received this document.
Send it over to CB show email at Gmail. Exclamation point. Email in the chat. There it is right there for you. Thank you, Nightbot.
So
I'm going to return it.
And potential penalties and we'll waive formal reading of the complaint or not guilty plea. Violates the constitutional rights by and a lot of positive things to share with the court.
Oh, I guarantee you he did.
Okay, did you ask for a court-appointed lawyer? Is that what we're doing?
Well, we are self-employed, representing gross income of about $600 a week. So I think a protective order would be appropriate. Appointed attorney, but with a protective order, Judge. Or you can hire a lawyer. I mean, down the road. That's what you want to do.
Okay, well, I'll ask her in a minute. So, ma'am, Ms. Vicari, she went over the charge as well as the penalties and your rights. And do you feel you understand the charge, the penalties, and your rights? Speak up, ma'am.
Yes.
Do you want me to go over the charges, or it's one charge, penalty and right?
That's fine. Yes.
You do? Okay. This
Okay.
complaint charges that on or about May 3rd of 2021.
He's the
in the
best.
city of Plunkett, you did carry a dangerous weapon, to wit, a pistol, whether concealed or otherwise in a vehicle occupied or operated by said defendant, to wit, a Jeep Patriot. This is contrary to Michigan compiled law 750.227. You understand the charge of carrying a concealed weapon?
Yeah.
It's a felony. It carries a penalty of up to 5 years in prison or a $2,500 fine. Plus, there's mandatory forfeiture of the weapon or device. You understand the maximum penalties? I'm going to go through your rights.
Yes.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say in orally or in writing can be used against you in court.
I have
You have
a
the right to have
picture
an
of
attorney
the
present during any questioning you consent
said
to, as
weapon.
well as to represent you throughout the entire case. You now have the money to hire an attorney. The court will appoint one for you at public expense.
I can't draw a pew-pew.
There will not be a trial
the
here
best I
in
can do
district court.
for
If it goes
online.
to trial, that would be in circuit court. You're entitled to have a probable cause conference within the next 14 days and a preliminary exam within the next 21 days. The preliminary exam hearing, the prosecuting attorney has to establish that there's probable cause to believe a crime was committed, and that number two, that you were the person that committed that crime. If the prosecutor is unable to establish those two things, the case would be dismissed. But if the prosecutor were able to establish those two things, the case would be bound over to circuit court for trial. At the preliminary exam, you have the right to be represented by an attorney. And again, court would appoint one for you if you are unable to afford one.
Pretty damn good stuff, huh?
At the exam, you and your attorney can confront and cross-examine any witnesses that they call to testify against you. You have the right to subpoena your own witnesses to court, who might testify on your behalf. And you can choose to testify, but you can also choose not to testify as well. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Happens.
So we're going to set your
That's how we knew it was.
probable cause.
That's how many it holds. It holds
For May 5th at 8:30 in the morning.
6 shots.
You are going to be in front of Judge
6 fingers for 6 shots.
Glenn by Zoom. The Zoom phone number is printed on here. It's very tiny.
He
but
don't play.
It's like in the middle of the page. Understand that? I don't know why they can't make that font bigger.
Something that's built into the GIS system.
Okay.
I like to think I'm the Rembrandt for our
Now
generation.
let's talk about what you got to get fingerprinted. You haven't been fingerprinted. You got to go to the Genesee County Jail before May 5th and be fingerprinted. You understand that?
Fingerprint.
Yep.
I get the gravity of it all from her voice.
All right, let's talk about this. What are you going to do about an attorney? You said, how much did you say you make a week?
Roughly 4 to 6.
What do you do?
I'm just an up and coming barber. I just got my license last year, so.
400 to 600, Judge, gross, that's gross.
400 to 600. Up and coming barber.
For expenses like renting the chair and all that, or is that what you put in your pocket? Need protection. There are no dependents, so we would ask for protection.
All right, I'm going to appoint a lawyer, but when he's saying a protective order, that means that you may have to reimburse the county down the road the cost
You're
of
welcome.
the lawyer. For all or part of it, okay? Let me go through your bond
She
conditions.
gave the old 6-finger Mikey. There it was. Hi, Mello.
Through your bond conditions.
Mello, from your picture, are you like, it looks like you're
You have
like
to appear
laying on the
for,
bed.
Any examination, arraignment, trial, sentencing, or any time and places directed by the courts. If you're represented by an attorney, the notices to appear may go to your lawyer instead of to you.
6
You understand?
chambers.
Yes.
You have to abide by any judgment entered in the case and surrender to serve any sentence imposed. You understand? You're not to leave Michigan without court permission. Do you understand?
Yes.
You're not to commit any crimes while you're released. Do you understand?
Oh my God.
Notify the court in writing of any changes
See it again.
of address or telephone numbers. You understand?
Yes.
You're not to use any alcohol, marijuana, or illegal or controlled substances. Do you understand? You're not to possess or purchase a firearm or other dangerous weapon or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Skinner, do you want to address bond?
Again, Judge, Ms. Dukes surrendered herself once she received notice from the state police. She is self-employed, but she's a licensed professional, and she has a driver's license. The
Finger
address
bang,
on the
bang, bang.
complaint was current. She has no felony history that we're aware of. We would ask the court to set a PR bond for this young lady, quite risk. Court already imposed fine.
I'm setting a $2,500 personal recognizance bond. Okay, that's it. She's going to give you your paperwork.
I'll give you paperwork.
Just have a seat.
Judge even has a
She's gotta
Ohio
get
State
together
Cup
for you.
koozie too.
That's it for what's in the courtroom, Judge.
I like his hair.
Files that are here. And when
Okay.
I went to get Judge Quinn's Zoom instructions is what's going on. So I'm gonna have his report.
Oh my God. Is that it for the judge? You know what? If that's it for our judge, it's it for me too. 6 minutes. This 6 minutes early. No, 4 minutes early. Oh, well. 6-finger pew pew. I mean, what more can somebody ask for? 6-finger merch? Fine. 6-finger merch is coming your way. I'll get it done. Don't you worry about that. We're going to have a great day on Florida Friday, the very first one. I'm sorry. Oh, really? It's a great one. It's a winner. It's like a fun and fanciful type deal there. Look, it's putting on some old cases. We don't want to watch this. We're leaving. We got places to go and people to see. You guys are a mess. I enjoyed every minute I spent with y'all today. Hopefully everybody had a good time. I know I did. Oh boy. Make sure you guys like this video. Haven't done so already. It means a lot to have you guys all around. Ah, boy. I laughed hard on that one. It made me laugh. I'm not going to lie. All right. We'll see you back here for, we got a chase, guys. I appreciate you all. You guys are amazing. There's no better family on the internet than this one. I'm telling you. No better. No better. All right, guys, we'll see you real soon. Don't forget, we got a members only today. If you're not yet a member and you'd like to be part of members only, you still have time to join. You can join right here on the Creedence and Bishop YouTube page. That is the best way and only way to do so. All right, I'm getting out of here. Ooh, bang them all, baby. Until next time. Ooh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Please remember, merch is on its way. Oh, my God. See you soon. Oh, my God. Too much.